Have you been looking for a boat you can keep on the water that isn't too big but can do just as much as a game fishing boat offshore? Well, look no further. The Arvor 905 Sportfish has arrived. The Arvor 905 Sportfish is the fisherman's dream with a spacious cockpit, enclosed cabin and serious offshore pedigree. It's built to handle the tough Arctic conditions, and while today we're blessed with a low swell and little wind, you can feel the toughness just by standing on the boat. Getting to any fishing ground is done in maximum comfort. Down the back there's plenty of cockpit seating. You've also got some bow seating if you'd like to use it, and the helm position gives you full visibility all around the boat. The dashboard installation ahead of the helm position has all the room you need for a sounder and a GPS unit. Plus you've got your speed dials, rev gauges down below that. Anchor windlass and your thruster are well within reach, and your trim tabs are nice and handy to get to immediately ahead of the throttles. It is a nice and tidy installation. The only issue I did have was when fishing down the back, if you want to have a look at your sounder, you're actually peering over the helm seat. Easily solved by adding another sounder in the cockpit area, which will give you full visibility down below. The 905 Sportfish is a classic Arvor design. It's capable of powering through swell and chop securely and very safely. In fact, it's an extremely comfortable ride. Below the waterline at the bow, the entry point is fine, and it features two reverse chines that do an efficient job of helping the boat get onto the plane quickly and smoothly. The bow then flares out, and that does a fantastic job of keeping the spray deflected down and away from the vessel when you're heading into or with swell or chop. All that makes it perfect for any offshore adventures. The hull can be powered by twin or single outboard installations. In this case, we've got twin Mercury 250 horsepower Verados, giving a nice cruising speed of around 23 knots. In reality, you're rarely going to be charging offshore at wide open throttle. And my personal preference would be the twin outboard installation. It offers fantastic performance on this particular hull. The handling with the twin outboard installation is agile despite the overall size of the boat, and manoeuvring is made easier with the standard bow thruster. In reality, this is a very large platform, so anglers can comfortably fish all across the back of the boat, from roughly this position that I'm in now, all the way down to the back corner. It's also very stable, which makes it perfect if you want to jig, cast, drop baits, or trawl. In the southern states, I would expect that trolling would be the preferred method of use for a boat like this, while up in the northern states, anchoring up over a reef and dropping baits is probably the best way to go. If someone on board fancies themselves as a chef, the Galley is where you can stick him or her with a single burner stove, sink and microwave to keep them occupied. If you find yourself out on the reef or offshore with a chance to stay overnight, there's a full-size berth at the bow, a full-size mid-berth and a convertible option in the cabin, totaling 6 people accommodation. Optional air conditioning or heating will ensure you're comfortable always, and a separate head with pull-out shower will keep you fresh after a long day. The setup in the cockpit is perfect for any style of fishing. You've got this fully integrated fishing station here, which moves backwards or forwards. It can come right into the cockpit, giving you room out behind it, or it can be in this position completely at the rear of the craft. On this side, you've got a sink, which is nice and handy and good for cleaning up. And on this side, you've got a nice deep live bait tank, which will hold a fairly decent size of live bait. In the front edge of it here, they've elected for seats. Personally, I would probably prefer to have drawers or an esky or a fridge perhaps, something like that. Gives me a little bit more storage for my fishing tackle. There's also seats either side of the cockpit too, which means that you can have a full complement of 6 people on board and they can all be nice and comfortable. Whilst it's a decent sized vessel, it's certainly not as difficult to handle as a large offshore game boat. And for that reason, it's really going to appeal to people looking for a game fishing ready, manageable boat that has the comforts for overnight missions.